Okay, so remember this girl here, there was the making a much bigger selection here, so much more complex. We had this problem around the edge of her head. So starting off, I'm going to take my quick and easy magic wand tool to select the background behind the girl because that was the most key clear area. And if I just press shift, I'll just add these other areas at the bottom that it missed. And then if you remember what we did was we inverted the selection because it's not the background I'm interested in, it's the girl. So if I go up to select menu and invert the selection, that's always a trick that you can do. But of course it's made a real mess of the edge of her hair where the magic wand couldn't really differentiate between bits of her hair and bits that weren't her hair. So what I got you to do here, and we'll just do a quick sample of it, was to use the quick mask mode, which is different from masking. Quick mask mode is this little button down at the bottom here or in the tool palette. When you click on it, you would see this kind of area here. Now what you have, everything that's highlighted pink is out with your selection. Everything that's highlighted, it's clear, transparent, is within your selection. And you can use a black paintbrush or a white paintbrush to refine that edge yourself simply by repainting over the top. Remember? So I've got my colour picker here. I can choose white or I can choose black. Now I'm going to add white, which adds to the selection, and paint a white brush down here. Pick up the paintbrush. Now the important things to remember with the paintbrush, not just size, but also hardness, how hard the brush is. 0% hard, very soft, 100% hard, completely sharp brush. So I'm going to bring it down to about 80%, so I have a softish brush, but not like spongy soft, maybe make it about 75%, see how that works. And then use those bracket keys to change size, and I can start to paint these areas that are missed out white. And I just go around and very carefully just go around the whole outside edge of the girl until you perfect the selection. Now the other thing that was important, remember, about having a soft brush rather than a hard brush was this idea that humans are not, or people or animals, or anything that's mammal, covered in hair and cloth and what have you, they don't have hard edges on around about them. You're really looking at making a soft edge around about them as much as you could to make this a bit more realistic. So again, the soft-edged brush when you're painting hair or clothes or skin, it's very important to get that realistic edge and to avoid things like helmet hair, and really to try and make sure that things don't look like they've been cut out. And then you can just tidy up that selection, and you can spend a lot more time painting and what have you. The important thing to remember once you've finished and you've got it how you want it, before I do that, remember if you overdo it, you go, oh no, swap the colour and paint black back in, and all you're doing is by painting black is you're painting the selection out again. Black and white, constantly painting between black and white until you get it the way you want it. But you must remember to switch the quick mask mode off so that you can actually see matching ants. Very important that you can see matching ants before you do anything else, and then you would always save the selection so that you can use it again. And then you can use that for all kinds of things. You can put that into masking and all the rest of it, but that was the key. Soft brush, quick mask, black and white colour, and you refine it how you want. Okay, so that's making that selection. Close out. I don't need to save that one. And then I showed you using this method here, something similar, which might actually work out quicker if you're just trying to make a selection nice and soft. So if I take the elliptical marquee tool and I press Alt to make it grow from the centre, it makes it a lot easier to find those rocks, and I make a nice sort of rugby ball oval shape around about those stones. And the important thing was to try and get a little bit of reflection as well, but not too much water, but just enough, so about that size. And then when you make the selection, the important thing was to use this refine edge button at the top. Remember that one? I'll show you that one again. This refine edge button up here. You can also go up to select and refine edge in here as well. And there's the keyboard shortcut, which I'm not even going to bother with, it's far too long. But refine edge. Now when you're using refine edge, remember you've got your different views. You can put it on black, you can put it on white, you can put it on a layer, you can do it like the overlay like you just saw with the girl, all kinds of options. So decide on the one that works best for you. And then the important thing here is things like the feathered edge. If I push that edge further up, you see how it softens the outside edge of that to make it really hard to see where those edges are. And the more feathered you have, the harder it is to see where those edges are, which makes compositing, for example, much easier. Now, if we'd been working with the girl, I could have made a small feathered edge round about the whole selection, and I wouldn't have had to paint the whole thing. So I hope you didn't do that. I hope you remembered that this is there, which can make life a lot quicker. The shift edge allows you, if you feel that you're starting to just maybe eat into the rocks a little bit too much, you can shift the edge. You can also smooth it, which in this case, because it's an oval, isn't necessary. You can get much smoother. And the contrast allows you just to enhance the brightness levels in the middle there so that it becomes a bit stronger. But really, you want to kill the definition of that edge. You don't want to see any straight lines or hard lines there at all. Now, it still looks like a normal selection, but the key was that when you move this, and all I'm going to do is make a new layer of it. Command J gives me a new layer with the rocks. When I move the rocks, because I've got that soft edge, you can see there, I put them near the dog, or if I put them on the ground, you can see what that water looks like as its soft edge. The rocks are nice and crisp, the water's a bit soft and wispy, and it means that if I move this over to the edge up here a little bit, and then perhaps transform it, make it a little bit smaller like we did, so we can start to build like a sort of stepping stones out in the distance, especially on something like a reflective surface, it becomes incredibly hard to see where you've cut that out from and how it doesn't fit in with the reflective surface you can see elsewhere. So feathering edges can sometimes really hide these kind of problems. And then we could just make that go all the way up in the distance, but I won't bother just now. Okay, so that was another couple of things about making the selections.